my name's Grandad. Hello and welcome back to this week's vlog.
And what we're going to be doing is trimming a lot of the bow and boxing in the cables under the gunwales. We left an area above the tiles free for us to put the trims around, and we're just going to be gluing the wooden trims around that and painting them. The board that we're using is just a plain timber.
Yeah, just a plain timber, yeah, just a pine board.
I can't remember what the size was.
No.
And we're just going to be gluing and tacking those together for the boxing.
Each area where the cables run, where we're going to be boxing in, is slightly different. And the one where the fireplace is, we're going to make it slightly deeper or slightly longer from the top of the pine cladding downwards. Basically so that we can attach all the fireside tools to there. So here I'm just going to fasten a batten to the wall so that we can screw underneath into that to hold it into place. And 29, 22, 29. Actually can come quite a bit, can't we? Because it's quite a thick bit of wood.
So we're just fixing it onto the wall, but leaving it away from the wall, because we're following the trim that goes around the fireplace across the boxing. So we want like a little ledge on top, the same as there is on the above the fireplace.
Using geocell grab adhesive to attach the trims to the top of the fireplace, and there's a decent gap between this trim and the flue of the fire, and with the flue being a double skin flue, I'm confident that it's not going to be a problem in future and create any scorching on there.
In the gap, we've put some infills in and attached them to the wall, just to have something for this next ledge to sit onto, but also to have a little bit more securing to the wall.
I'll leave this to set for and go hard for a few hours now before coming back to it.
So all it needs now is a little bit of sanding around, filling any gaps, and painting.
Yeah, we have actually rounded the edges off on this so that it isn't sort of a blunt sharp edge all the way around as well, so
Yeah.
just on that edge there.
Yeah, we'd pre-sanded them,
Yeah.
but we're going to give them a
Final sand.
final sand now they're all glued together. Now that bit's done, we can work out how we are going to trim the side.
That gap there.
Yeah. We've got a couple of the boards, what we've used on the wall, that we also used in the bathroom. We've got them spare, so we're going to use those to block that gap.
Follow the line of the boat down there, yeah.
So they're painted blue at the moment, same as the bathroom, but we can give them a bit of a sand and change the paint colour.
Rather than cutting this first board so it butts up underneath the boxing in, I've cut a small slither or a small piece at the front there, just so that it follows all the way up to the trim that we've put around the fireplace, and it just sort of cloaks that gap in as well without having to use any filler or trim there. And that can be boxed over there, and then that trim that comes on the front will go up to that, won't it?
Yeah.
But it's just this bit here that'll go right across there, won't it? Up to the boxing.
Yeah.
From the top edge of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all trimmed in and it fits flush up to the fireplace, so no more work to be done on that. These are going to be glued and nailed into place, and then these little packers are going on the side because the fireplace, the little timber pieces there that you can see that hold the backer board to the side of the boat, they sat back a little bit further than I wanted to, so just to make that gap up, I'm just filling these in with a little packer just to bring that board that's going on the side there flush up to the side of the fireplace. All that remains now is to trim this piece and fit on the opposite side.
It was easier to prime and paint these bits before they were stuck on, just so I didn't get it everywhere all over the tiles and and the
Up the
wooden door frame.
architrave. Yeah.
I've also painted a white strip up the front of this bit of trim, just to give the sort of illusion that it's a separate piece of white trim that matches the other side.
Don't know whose idea it was to light the fire today, but it's flipping hot on this boat.
Well, when I lit it this morning, I thought
We've had a visit from Betty Swallow.
I thought, oh, we're doing that area, so that's
Oh,
why
like the fire.
No, I let it die down then.
Oh, right.
So yeah, it was hot, but
You're not near it though.
not as hot as yesterday. So now you can see why we wanted a deeper area on this trim, so we could put some hooks on the outside and our little plaque, that's the word.
Happy plaque.
Happy plaque. So we can use these to dry our coats and everything like that if we wanted to, if we weren't too close to the fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep my knickers warm.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Keep my knickers warm
Beat
overnight.
me to it, yeah.
And then hooks underneath as well.
Pencil line is that little hole there, look. Nearly. It's hard to see, mate, isn't it? Can you see it? Oh, yeah, you got it. Good boy. Hold it there then for me. Good boy. Let me hold. Oh, that's it now. Grandad, take over. Let me get that screw in there. Turn it like that. Might need both hands. That's it. Oh.
Oh, God.
Let me try that screwdriver there. Good boy. Good boy. That's it. Now put your screwdriver in the end. Good boy. You've done it, Nanny. Good boy. That's it. Turn it, turn it, turn it. Turn it. Turn it. Oh, a little bit more. Let me put in this screw for you again. Find where it is. That's it. One of them. Oh, is it tight? Yeah. Pull it and see if it's tight.
Oh, yeah, that's tight.
That's tight. Is it hard? Is it not falling out? High five. Good girl.
This is the other side of the TV unit. Because it's going above the radiator, we may put a bar on this, so we wanted to use the same thickness wood, so if we ever do want to screw something into it, we can. And we've just done it the same, attaching like two pieces and making a box in and attaching it onto the wall. This time though, we've actually put it flat against the wall rather than have a ledge at the top. Right, moving over to the other side of the boat, we've got the little bookshelf that we previously made, and we need to just chisel out a little piece so the boxing in can go up to it. I've either lost a little bit of footage on this next bit, or I forgot to press record on the camera, but we actually put this boxing up, done exactly the same as the other way. The pieces of tape are to mark where we can tap in, where the
Buttons come down the wall.
Yeah, the buttons were on the wall, where we could attach it. We also decided to put some screws in either end, just to make sure that it stays on, but we've used tacks. We've pieced this little bit in because the timber came in 2/4, and so instead of trying to source a longer bit that goes all the way up, we decided just to join it. You actually won't see where the join is on this. One, we're going to fill it and sand it and get it level, but the curtains actually cover that bit, so I'm not too worried. Heidi weren't bothered about this little bit sticking up on the bookshelf, but I was. So after a little row, we had. I got my own way,
Difference of opinion.
I decided to chisel this little bit out. I just think it looked better on the top of the bookcase. It's a little bit blurry because I was trying to film myself because he weren't talking to me. Anyway, I decided to tape off the area where it's going to be painted, so it was easier than me sort of bending underneath and painting it. He's back now, look, because he can do some drilling. He's come back. You could also see in that clip where we had put a trim underneath as well, that we had painted the green. We've done it that way on this side because we didn't want it to hang so low. And the reason why we didn't want it to hang so low is because the sofa is going to go underneath it. So if we'd done it the same way as we did around the fireplace and put the piece of batten on the inside before attaching the boxing onto it, it would have brought it down too low, sat it down too low.
Yeah.
So we decided to put the boxing on and put a trim underneath to help hold it up. So this is the trim we used. We're using it to put on the ceiling that joins the wall as well, to fill the gaps up there. So it's just like concaved in the middle, and it sort of like goes on an angle. Is that what it's called?
OG or Scotia, I think it might be. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've stuck it all along the gap from the ceiling that joins the ceiling and the wall that joins. That's not the right words.
No, between the ceiling and
the wall.
The joints.
The gap anyway.
You know what we mean, yeah. Yeah, a bit like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Stick it on. And again, just using some flat trim to cover the gaps between each section of the boat, and then just gluing those on, and we will actually, I think, with Brad, nail these into place.
So there's just one gap to do now, and that's between the tiles and the cladding. We've left that because it's being boxed in with a bit like a shelving unit that goes with our glass and cup rails. So that's why that's left like that. We also put the picture up that Adie's daughter Sarah had made us for Christmas, and it's a line drawing of a photo that we use for our Facebook page for making a narrowboat with Nanny and Grandad. And we're probably going to use this as our logo at last.
Right, next on my everlasting list is to start on the LED light strips. It's going to run along the cable tray either side, and these are the little brackets that you get that fit on for the, like is it called a diffuser?
Yeah, diffuser.
Light diffuser.
To run the
like
strip lights, the ones that are on a reel.
Yeah, the LEDs. Yeah. So this is like a channel that you can fit those into. We thought we'd use the channel rather than just sticking them up, because in the past we've used them and they tend to come loose and drop down over the time, don't they?
Yeah.
So we've bit the bullet and
going to put them in the channel, but also it's easier to put the diffuser on the outside. In the past we've actually used fabric and things like that for the diffuser, But we've gone posh this time, and we've got a proper plastic diffuser. I don't know actually how good
No.
they are to stop the spots, but yeah.
But it's also, I say, it's gonna actually hold them in place, and they're not going to be dropping down ever so.
And you're not going to see these because the wood that goes on the cable tray
Underneath.
actually overlaps these. Yeah, just give a sort of like a muted light there for us,
Mood lighting.
yeah,
For when you're in the mood.
the ambience.